Hello, hello, and welcome back to another moon ceremony. I'm Safrianna Luna, the Queer Spirit Guide, a Druidic priestess of Brigid, and as always, it is a delight to tune into the moon with you. And today represents something a little special, and I'm going to talk about this multiple times throughout the day today. That this is marking a shift in how I'm showing up for moon ceremony. So, just in case this is your first time joining me, I have been going live for both the new moon and the full moon since, I believe, January 2024. And I had just went on a little mini retreat and I stepped away for a few days and I did a lot of soul searching, and I decided that I am only going to offer the full moon on YouTube moving forward, and I'm going to be switching up how I'm doing the new moons. So ever so occasionally you will catch me back here live on YouTube for a new moon ceremony, but otherwise we'll just gather for the full moon, and I'll give a little bit more details about that at the end. But for now, let's jump in to the reason that we're really here today, which is to celebrate this full moon in Capricorn. And just for the record, the full moon in Capricorn was technically last night, as I'm here live today on Tuesday. It was Monday night. And the full moon energy is good for several days. Yesterday was absolutely not the day. We'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about our energy update. But it is definitely still very much in this Capricorn energy and the Capricorn and Cancer juxtaposition that is happening here now. But the other big thing is that we just went into Mercury retrograde yesterday. So just in case this is your first time joining me, I always start by landing us in the energy of this moment. We'll then set some intentions. We will do a quick energy clearing. We'll drop in for a guided practice, and then I will pull some cards for the collective. And that is our flow. As always, feel free to participate in the chat as much or as little as you want. I do it in this format so that nobody has to come out of the closet. But I'm also really looking forward to the new moons where we are going to start to gather on Zoom, where we can have a more intimate setting and share a little bit more. So let's talk about this full moon in Capricorn. I have been enjoying the Chani app lately, and Chani was talking about how this particular week is actually one of the most intense astrological weeks that we have right now. And I was doing some research into why, what is going on, what does this look like? So we have our full moon in Capricorn. It is sitting in opposition to the sun in Cancer. And what's energetically happening here is it's a time of culmination and a time of a promise of fulfillment of what started at this most recent new moon. So really look back, what has happened in the last 2 weeks where you might be feeling more a sense of something happening or coming true for you that you have been maybe wishing for, or how you are starting to see that pushing up through the soil, how you are starting to see that seed sprouting. This is a really emotional time, and it's a really exhausting time. And that has been something that I've been seeing and really reading and hearing reflected everywhere, is how tired we are right now. And this goes beyond burnout. This is something at a collective level. So we want to really look at how Cancer and Capricorn work together in polarity, because we're being asked right now to look into our private life, into our relationship with domesticity and the need for our home base and our stability, versus our public life, our career, our reputation, our accountability. So we have this very private and nurturing side represented by Cancer, and then this very active, public, accountable part represented by Capricorn. And those are very opposing energies, right? They're very in opposition in some ways, because Cancer can be very content to be dependent on others and to be in connection and community, whereas Capricorn urges us to be really grown up and responsible and get things done. So we're being asked to balance in a new way, to balance our commitment to our career, but also to our family life, to our endeavors, our pursuits, but also to intimacy and deepening connection. And so there's a conflict happening between maybe our old roots and the direction that we want to move in right now. And I think that over the next 2 weeks, we're really going to find out what it means for us to find that new balance between that sort of intimate life and public life, to find out what it looks like, what's been building inside of us that we're ready to let out into the world. And there is really an urging to not just sit on our feelings right now, but to really express them. So, again, the roots that we have already established versus the direction that our soul is calling us into, those things might be a little bit uncomfortable to right now. They might be rubbing a little bit much together right now. So, where is this full moon illuminating something in your life that you really need to look at right now? Where are these feelings and these revelations coming from? Where are your emotions bursting forth from your subconscious into your consciousness to be looked at, to be expressed, and to let it out of your system in a new way? And then the last piece that I wanted to share about the astrology is that there is a square between Neptune and Saturn, which is creating tension or suggesting that there might be some tension between our expectations and our rigidity, and where we might be setting ourselves up to fail by having almost impractical or fuzzy thinking. So, watch for revelations that lead to a detour from your goals, or any revelations where you've realized misinformation is coming forward. This is really a time for opening ourselves up to possibilities, but also for waiting to receive more information in some cases. So, pay attention, listen, look, do this reflection between the inner and outer world. This is the perfect opportunity for it. So let's set some intentions. Capricorn, this full moon really, really feels like Capricorn is asking us to get serious. Like, what's yours to do? What do you want to fertilize? What do you want to build relationship with? And where can you recommit in your life? Where can you recommit to something that is actually true for you as the version of you that you are now, not the version of you that built roots long ago? So let's take some moments here to jot down our intentions. Whatever is coming up for you between now and the next full moon, now and the next new moon, whatever feels good for you. What do you want to commit to, choose, or let go of right here, right now? And as always, you're welcome to share these in the chat or keep them to yourself. You are welcome to post them in the private heartbeat community, or you're welcome to DM me. But what do you intend for yourself over these coming weeks? For me, I'm working to clear obstacles from my writing. Let's just go ahead and keep writing your intentions down. I'm just going to begin to do some energetic clearing work here on behalf of anyone who wants to let go of any stuck, sticky, or stagnant energy that is holding you back from pursuing your intentions. Clearing your own obstacles, releasing that voice that says you have to have it all figured out right now. Clearing out any voice that says you've failed. I invite you, as you finish writing down your intentions or sitting with your intentions, to just consciously come into the breath and to imagine that with each inhale, you are calling yourself back home. And each exhale, you're releasing that which is no longer for you. I feel like there's something we're collectively working with here on old beliefs, old structures, old ways of being, and allowing ourselves to open to something new. So, whatever of the old you are ready and willing to release right here, right now, just seeing yourself letting it go, blowing it out, releasing it from your body. And just noticing any voice that says you can't have this intention for your future. We're letting go of any belief that you cannot have harmony in your life, that you can't achieve some form of balance between that private inner world and that public outer world. We're letting go of limitation, of playing small, of shrinking back from who you truly are. Releasing, releasing, releasing. And you might like to shake out your fingers, your limbs, roll your shoulders down and back, fling it out. Imagine you are like a dog shaking water off of your fur. Let that stuck, sticky, stagnant energy go. You don't have to hold on to density any longer. That is just clinging around, right? It's time to sort through what is serving and what is not. So, as we move towards our guided practice here, I just want to remind you, especially if this is your first time coming across me, that you receive this in your own way. So, if you want to have your eyes opened, if you want to open and close them, if you want to lay down, if you want to sit up, if you want to journal the whole time, there is no right or wrong on how to receive this experience, nor is there any right way to receive what's coming through. You might feel things, you might smell or taste things, you might have the sense of seeing or hearing things, you might know things. There's no one right way to go into the journey. So we'll begin the way we always begin, simply by anchoring back into the breath, by being aware of the here and now, head to toe, your blessed body, held and supported by the earth beneath you, and by whatever you're sitting, lying, or standing on. And as we breathe, we'll begin the process of sinking out of the thinking mind down into the heart space, allowing the monkey mind or the busy brain to settle into the breath. Just breathing here for a few moments. I invite you to think of a moment recently where you felt alive with love, whether that was with an animal companion, out in nature, or with a loved one. Just allowing this memory or sensation of love to bloom in your chest and radiate through your body. And if no immediate memory comes up, you can always imagine yourself surrounded by a sea of your favorite baby animal. But just opening here, expanding here into the heart. As we open a portal in the heart space, looking out to an ocean shoreline. And in your own time and way, step through this portal onto this shore, witnessing the waves lapping against the beach. Notice what you notice as you land here now in this scene. Notice what time of day it is, if you can see the moon in the sky, if there's more landscape around, or if all you can see is ocean. There's a serenity here as you land, a peace that's available to you. So take a moment to anchor into the peace of now as you prepare yourself to go on a deep journey, to go on an adventure. You walk all the way up to the shore, and you can feel the water on your feet, maybe reaching up to your ankles as the waves lap in. And it's perfectly temperatured. It's almost like it matches your skin, so that you, even standing here on the shore, can hardly tell where the water begins and you end. And then you find yourself walking into the water, feeling that warmth or that peace rising with you as you tread out into the water. And you can see just ahead as you're walking a sort of disturbance, a shadow beneath the water. And suddenly emerges a sea goat. Its goat head, its fish body. What a fascinating creature, just taking a moment to witness this sea goat. And while it itself has such a strange appearance compared to what you might see in your daily life, there's a serious energy about this guide. And it's got such an earthy energy, such a grounded stability that it's offering to you, even as it flits about in the water, coming closer to you to greet you and connect with you. So take some moments to connect with this guide, to witness them and let them witness you as you prepare to journey. And then magically, a bubble forms around your head, or you grow gills, but you suddenly know it's safe for you to swim beneath the water's surface. You can breathe perfectly with ease as you move deeper into the water and finally plunge your head underneath the surface. And your sea goat wiggles, swims forward and down, beckoning you to follow down the sloping ocean floor. You can see perfectly too as you begin to swim and as you find your way, belly pointed down towards the sea floor, swimming down and down and down. And as you get deeper and deeper and deeper into the ocean, it grows darker and darker and darker. But you feel held. You feel supported. And as it grows dark, your sea goat guide begins to glow, glowing with that beautiful underwater phosphorescence. Just notice what color they glow as they begin to illuminate that sea floor for you. And you continue to travel down and down and down until the whole floor opens up and you find yourself in the most wondrous underwater field, just ocean waters as far as you can see. You can see all the features on the floor as your goat friend illuminates the way. You can see the corals and the fish and the other creatures that are here. And you can see in the distance some form of underwater structure. You begin to swim towards that. And as you draw nearer, you can see that a feature of this structure are great scales. Scales to balance your energies, scales to balance your equation of life right here, right now, as the new you you're stepping into. So much has shifted and changed in your life recently. You've expanded into so much. You've also contracted back, wondering at what is possible, on whether or not you can pursue that dream of yours, or whether or not this is going to work out for you. You've had moments of unsurety, and you've also had moments of clearly moving forward. And you realize this as you see these immense scales. Your guide, your sea goat, swims up next to the scales and connects with you energetically, telepathically, empathically, and asks you to really witness where you have been in terms of that sort of work life balance, which we know is a myth. But where have you been showing up for your private life, for your personal life? Where have you been showing up for your reflection, for your self consideration? Where have you been tuning in to the subtle realms of yourself, your desires, your dreams, even your shadows? As you behold this, as you offer this information to your guide, they fill up the left side of the scale with all that you are doing and being for yourself. And then they swim over to the other scale, the other side. And telepathically, they ask you, where have you been showing up publicly, professionally? Where have you been showing up doing things for others? Where have you been tending the outside world, whether it is your home environment or your work environment, your relationships, your resources? And your sea goat piles all of these things onto the scale. And now you can see, as you take a step back to really look, have you been showing up more for others or more for yourself? Is there a way that there could be more harmony between these two elements, the inner and outer world? If you feel deeply satisfied, wonderful. Celebrate this balance here and soak it up. Integrate the information that you've learned. If it feels imbalanced or disharmonized, where do you feel like you can and want to add more to one category or take away from a category? Where can you do more for yourself and less for others? Or show up more with others and be less in your inner world? No right or wrong, just get curious for a moment. How would you rebalance this equation if you could? And now, perhaps planting the seed, setting the intention, allowing yourself to see yourself taking steps, taking action to show up more in the ways that are really aligned with you and less in the ways that deplete you, drain you, and make you feel less yourself. You have permission to reorganize things. You have permission to pivot. You have permission to say no to things that you used to say yes to. You have permission at any time to rebalance the scales of your life, to reorient different domains, to completely start anew if you want. Notice what comes up in you as you are offered permission to live your life by your design. The sea goat begins to swim around the scales and they shrink down. They shrink until they are small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. And the sea goat swims the scales over to you and offers them with a message of remembrance. Once again, remember that you can rebalance this equation anytime. If you are over giving to others, it's okay to pull back a little bit. If you're neglecting yourself, it's okay to give yourself more. If you're isolating and pulling back from the world, it's okay to reemerge and connect with the people you love again. If you feel like you want to show up more in community, it's okay to do that too. You are allowed to pivot. And remember that only you have the power and the know how to rebalance your own scales. Only you have control over your life. And so those scales are shrunk down, small enough that you can place them in your heart space to check in on, to tune back into if you'd like, to see how you're doing, where your inner and outer worlds need more support or less of something. Giving yourself permission to go back to the drawing board as needed, to try something new, but most importantly, to step into this version of you you have been waiting on, you've been sitting on, this version of you that you have been compiling in the dark for a while now. It's okay for you to step into that version of you now. So as you complete this audit, this view of where you might give more or less, or take more or less, it's time to return back to the surface. So as you swim up through the water away from the structure, illuminated by your sea goat friend, imagine the water clearing out the old as you swim. Imagine almost that there is this vortex in the bottom of the ocean, that earthly element in the bottom of the ocean, just siphoning off any residual stuck, sticky, or stagnant energy as you swim up towards the surface. You get to be the version of yourself you're excited to be. The more that you are in your power, in your passion, in your embodiment, the more that you will have an impact in the world, the way that you want to have an impact in the world, the more that your time will be filled with doing the things that you want to do, the more that your energy will be spent co-creating energy, co-creating goodness in the world, and more plenty for yourself and for others. So stand in the brilliance and the power of who you are. And as you emerge at the water surface, at the shoreline, just checking the landscape again, noticing if anything has changed, and turning back to your sea goat friend to receive any final messages. What do they want you to leave knowing? And then, in your own time and way, offering gratitude to the space, to the sea goat, to the moon, to the ocean, to yourself, and then turning back to the portal of the heart, stepping through, wiggling the fingers and toes. And if they're not already open, gently blinking open the eyes to take in your surroundings. So feel free to jot down anything that came up for you during that. As always, you're welcome to share in the comments if there's anything that came through for you that felt powerful that you'd like to share. And as I shuffle the cards here for our messages, I just want to say, once again, I'll share a little bit at the end here about the changes that are happening. But the big thing is that there will not be new moon ceremonies moving forward, except for once in a blue moon, except for instances like eclipses. And I'll share more about that in a bit. But first, let's talk about our oracle messages for this full moon in Capricorn. And I love what I'm seeing. So first we have Shield Maiden. This card is all about moving forward, making plans, and focusing on what's ours to do. So I do feel like that is what is coming up here in that Capricorn energy is that invitation to make plans and focus. You know, Capricorn is so about getting things done and being productive in many ways and being organized and very earthy, grounded, stable energy. So this is really the Shield Maiden is like, hey, use this opportunity, especially while we're in Mercury retrograde right now, which is in Cancer, which is really inviting us to look at that family life and that home life and whatnot. But Capricorn is like, take this reflective opportunity, this slowdown, to really make the plan that is going to help you move into that next level, that's going to help you move into the version of you that we are connecting with today. That's the version of you that is excited to wake up every morning and live the life that you want to live. Our next card is the White Witch. This is about being the light, seeding the light. There's something very present in this moon about how we've been standing in the light, because the light is what we can see. The light is what's tangible, what's here, what's conscious. That doesn't always make it right for us. So the invitation here is to really reorient. Is there a way you're standing in the light that's inauthentic? Is there a way that you're standing in the light of being, of showing up, of doing in the world that is no longer in alignment with you? If so, it's time to pivot. It's time to release that old way of being and be the light in a brand new way. Be embodied in your wisdom that you have obtained over these last weeks and months and years. But there has been something really potent that's been here over these last few weeks, where if you've been circling something, you've been thinking about something a lot, you've been like, I feel like this is the next thing calling me. Listen to that. And how do you bring that more into the light? And how do you stand in the power of that? And then our final message here from the Oracle is the Knight. Be brave and honest. And again, I feel like this is all telling us a story. It takes so much bravery first to be honest with ourselves, right? To be honest with ourselves about what's working, what's not working, what we're enjoying, what we're not enjoying, those deep subconscious things that we're terrified to bring to the surface. But that is where we know where we need to be brave. It takes an immense amount of bravery to pursue our dreams because we care about them. It takes an immense amount of bravery to break out of old ways of being, old patterns of ours. It takes an immense amount of bravery to stand up as who we really are in the world when there is so much power and control around us all the time right now, trying to make us play small, trying to whitewash us, trying to reduce us down to check boxes. It takes an immense amount of bravery to stand in who we truly are, especially when we don't neatly fit those boxes. So I feel like the Oracle is really, really sharing here that this is the opportunity in the midst of this retrograde, especially, to make plans on where you want to focus in this next chapter. Make the plan so that as we emerge from the retrograde, as we move through our new moon, as we move into the chapter ahead, as we move into July, you have a plan that you can begin to focus on and actually call in what you want to call in. And be the light, even if it's being the light in a new way, standing in a new form of empowerment, of awareness, of your magic. We need to change a lot of how we have been. And there's no, this is not a message for any single one of us. It is a message for all of us. We have all been holding ourselves back in some way. And this is really calling us to stand in the light in a whole new, powerful way. And that is going to take bravery and honesty about what's really ours to do, who we really are, what we really want, and the bravery to pursue making that happen, allowing it to happen. And that takes really being settled in our mind, focused on what is ours to do. And that's where the plan helps. So I love these messages. I'm going to pull us one more frequency activation. But before I do, I just want to say that our next full moon is the full moon in Aquarius. And we will be celebrating that on July 29th at 4 p.m. here on YouTube. And otherwise, everything about the new moons is changing as I move forward. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat here. Safrianna.com/moon. If you want to make sure you can join me for the new moon ceremonies, you're going to want to sign up on that list, or you are going to want to come be in my heartbeat community. So moving forward, I am only going to be doing the eclipses. I'll do the eclipses live here on YouTube. But otherwise, if it's a new moon, I am only doing 4 new moons a year now. And those are going to be privately over in a Zoom where you can actually come join with me. The ceremony will be very similar, but we will have more capacity to talk together, to set some intentions together, and to powerfully channel manifesting with each other. So it's going to be new moon seasonal manifestation circles. And the next new moon actually happens to be where I decided they were going to fall. So it will always be the first new moon after we have had a equinox or solstice. So we just happen to have our summer solstice. So the next new moon will be the one that will be on Zoom. Again, you can go to safrianna.com/moon to sign up for the email reminders, and you will get the Zoom link via that newsletter list. Or come join me on Heartbeat. There should be my Heartbeat link right here in the description. But otherwise, you can go find it on my YouTube channel easily, or message me if you cannot find it. But the Rebel Elements community is what this is going to be open to. These are still completely free new moon ceremonies. Like I said, we're just going to do them 4 times a year, and we're going to have them be manifestation circles where we get to be face to face. So for those of you out there who are subscribed on YouTube, I'll see you back here for every full moon as we move forward until something else changes. It's been 2.5 years, like I said at the beginning, that I've been doing things this way. And, every now and then we want to check in and we want to pivot as needed to meet the version of ourselves that we are now. So that is where I am at. And I still love doing these ceremonies. I still am so excited for what comes down the line. And I am really excited to share with you here soon what I will be opening this fall. So, more on that soon. Here is our final frequency activation for this full moon in Capricorn. It is the frequency of authority. And I absolutely love this as our message for this full moon in Capricorn, because it is essentially saying true power, true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. And I'm picking up some big Capricorn energy from just looking at this. Remember that you are the authority of your life. You get to choose your past, your path forward. You get to choose how you work with your past. And you get to direct your will towards what you desire. You get to receive information from the world around you, but you are not governed or controlled by anything outside of you when it comes to pursuing what is right for you. So take authority over your life. Do not externalize your authority to others. That's a very clear message here. Take back authority for yourself. Yes, you can receive wisdom and love and information from outside of you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to act on it all. So go forth and lead yourself, my friends. Take care of yourselves, love yourselves, and if you've got to pivot, pivot. I know it is so scary. I'm in the midst of my own giant pivots over here, but it's the most important thing you can do. Be you, show up with what's authentic, rebalance those scales as needed when you get more information, but generally take care of yourselves. So I will be back here for another full moon at the end of July. And otherwise, I hope to see you over in the Rebel Elements on Heartbeat and in the Zoom room for our first new moon manifestation circle of the summer. So until next time, my friends, I'm Safrianna Luna.